your leader in sports coverage in Madison County. It's Sports Night from the Richmond Register Sports Department.
Find out the latest Madison County sports information from Richmond Register sports editor Nathan Hutchison, coming up next. Madison County Sports Night is brought to you by
Total Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote.
Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Adams Buick GMC. Sid says sell 'em. Snappy Tomato Pizza. Pizza. Metronet Fiber. And KYmedia.net. Does your business or organization want to sponsor Madison County Sports Night on the Richmond Register Sports channels? Hit us up on social media. Abundant Hope Naturals, the official fruit smoothie for Sports Night. Come recharge with a delicious fruit smoothie full of protein and your choice of supplements.
Welcome into Madison County Sports Night Live for Wednesday, January the 11th, 2023. Hope you're having a good evening out there. It's supposed to be a nice warm day tomorrow. I might break out the shorts again. Not a whole lot of action tonight. We have three college basketball games to tell you about. And then we got to talk about some serious stuff after we do that, and it's kind of heavy, it's kind of in-depth, but we're going to get into it because it's very, very important for you guys to know about these things. But before we get to that, we'll go into the three games of the night. The Berea College men's and women's basketball teams were on the road down in Lookout Mountain, Georgia, for a doubleheader, a Collegiate Conference of the South doubleheader against Covenant College. And the first up was the women, and the Lady Mountaineers moved to 14-1 on the year, 6-0 in the CCS with a 56 win over Covenant. Lynn College, James, 17 points, 12 rebounds. Dalen Spalding, 16 points, 6 assists. Drea Satori, 14 points. Jaden Merriweather, 11 points, 4 steals. Nevia Barnes, 8 points. 40% shooting from the field. 7 of 20, but 7 of 20 from the three-point range. 19 of 27 at the line. Forced 18 turnovers, converted into 15 points. Had 15 assists on the 22 made field goals. And the Berea College Lady Mountaineers continue to dominate the CCS. Like I said, 6-0, and in those 6 games, they've outscored their opponents 453 to 264. All 6 of those victories have come by double digits, and they'll be back in action at home on Saturday against Huntington College at 2 o'clock at the Seabury Center. And while the Lady Mountaineers had been undefeated in conference play, the men down at Berea College had not yet ever picked up a win in the CCS in their first year in that league. Last weekend, lost 2 games at home to go to 0-2 in the league. But on Wednesday, they get their first ever win in their new league with a come-from-behind 74-71 win over Covenant. They were down 8 points late in the second half, but shot 57% from the field in the second half to rally to pick up the victory. Trey Minter with 20 points, which pushed him over 1,000 for his career. 4 assists also. Isaac Cottle, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Jarrell Montgomery, 10 points, 8 rebounds. Andrew Jones, 8 points. Marquise Mackey, 7 points. And Bryce Riley, 6 points, 3 rebounds. 9-7 on the season for Berea College, 1-2. Both teams in this game shot 50% from the field in a game that featured 7 lead changes, 4 ties. Berea was up by 10 in the first half. Covenant was up by 8 in the second half. Covenant was up 36-30 at the half, so it definitely went back and forth. But Berea College just 5 of 13 from the free throw line. But they hang on to pick up their first ever CCS victory. And they will also be back at home Saturday at the Seabury Center to take on Huntington College. That game is at 4 o'clock. Over at Alumni Coliseum tonight, EKU women taking on in-state and ASUN rival Bellarmine. And in a game that featured 13 ties and 7 lead changes, it was EKU with the last push to pick up an 85-79 win. 10-7 on the season now for the Colonels. 3-1 in the OVC. They are 8-1 inside of Alumni Coliseum. Antoinette Walker, 26 points, 10 rebounds. Marissa Mankins, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Alice Recanati, 11 points, 9 rebounds. And Bridget Fox with 11 points as well. 45% shooting from the field for the Colonels. 4 of 13 from 3, 17 of 21 from the free throw line. I tell you, Bellarmine came in 4-12 or 4-12 on the season and 0-3 in the ASUN, but they put up a heck of a fight. Played much better than their record would indicate that they are. And of course, we've talked about it the other night, but in a weird scheduling quirk, these two teams will play again on Saturday in Louisville. So the return game up there, playing the same team back-to-back in the same week in different locations. So that was the fun stuff. And I guess we do look ahead real quick to tomorrow night. Don't have any high school games on the schedule, but we do have EKU men at home against Florida Gulf Coast, two teams that are 3-1 in the league and tied for second place. Big game, folks. Get on out to McBrayer Court, Baptist Health Arena, whatever, and support the Colonels. 7 o'clock. It should be a fun. Of course, Florida Gulf Coast, everybody remembers them from a couple years ago when they made that deep run into the NCAA tournament. They called Dunk City, as they called it down there. So should be a very good matchup there. 2 3-1 teams, and of course, EKU plays them tomorrow, and then on Saturday, first place Stetson comes in to Alumni Coliseum, and they're sitting there at 4-0. So good weekend of basketball over here in Richmond. So that's the fun stuff. So I spent most of the day working alongside my wonderful editor, and I'm not saying that because she can hear me in the office over there. My wonderful editor, Ricky Pryor. We have been following this EKU OVC lawsuit now for nearly 500 days. And to be quite frank, it just gets more and more bizarre as this thing goes on and on and on. But the latest filings really revealed some things that really we need to share with you as the public and need to let you all know about what's going on. But in the latest court filings, the last story we put out about a couple weeks ago, that the court documents revealed that at least 4 very high-profile people at Eastern Kentucky University, including Athletic Director Matt Roan, President David McFadden, and former Chairman of the Board of Regents Luis Diaz, were using personal emails to conduct EKU business. According to EKU's written policy on the matter, this is not allowed. It is only allowed if the General Counsel grants you the authority to do that. And of course, the 4th person who was using a personal email address that was identified was Dana Foll, who is the chief counsel at Eastern Kentucky University. But this latest filing is very disturbing in a lot of ways, folks, because what I have in my hand right here, and I can't zoom in on it too much because it's got some email addresses, but in August 16th of 2020, EKU's athletic director Matt Roan sent an email to David McFadden and Luis Diaz in which he encouraged the 3 of them to basically keep their conversations private. And I will quote directly from the email: "We'll keep info related to any other league on personal email away from open records requests." And if you're not a journalist and you don't understand what that means, this basically means that the most important people at Eastern Kentucky University are trying to hide things from you folks. They use private emails so that you as the public can't find out what they're doing with your money, because this is a public university. This university runs on money that's given to them by the state, by the taxpayers, and it is a publicly funded institution, and your money is what funds this. Of course, they do get money from tuition and stuff like that, but they get millions of dollars a year from us taxpayers to run their university, and they don't want you to know what they are doing. They're using Gmail accounts and doing things behind your back so that you don't know what's going on. And so if you go to richmondregister.com right now, we have just posted 2 stories that really kind of are born out of this one email. But we did talk to we talked to a couple of open records experts today, some lawyers, and this is clearly an attempt to skirt the law, the open records law in the state of Kentucky by these people. We did get a statement from Eastern Kentucky University. I'll try to be nice, but it was laughable at best, basically saying that these were protected communications because they came from, they were basically just friends talking, and that's, but that's not what this is, folks. But this is, hopefully you'll read them. Go read them both. The one is basically about the open records and how the EKU is trying to skirt the open records. The other also stems from this same email, because if you read down further, actually, the title of this email is OVC to ASUN Narrative Thoughts. And you have to look at the date on this and do the math here. This is August 16th of 2020. This is right before EKU announced that they would be playing, it was right in the middle of COVID, and EKU announced they would be playing football in the fall instead of waiting until the spring of 2021 when the OVC wanted to play then. And remember, if you remember, they went out and played, I think, 9 games that year, or maybe it was 8. I think it was 8 games. I think about 3 and 5. They went out and played those games in the middle of a pandemic. And this email clearly shows to you that they had already been in contact with the Atlantic Sun Conference long before this. And there is a whole long list, and I can turn this over here, of talking points about why we should tell the people in our community that we want to join the Atlantic Sun. And so there was obviously contact between the Atlantic Sun and the Eastern Kentucky University long before any of this became public. And another part of this email that's very telling, the second line says, whether we depart or are dismissed, here is what's on my mind. So I'm going to read between the lines here, and I honestly, I said this 2 years ago when this happened. It seems as if EKU was trying to get itself thrown out of the OVC to avoid paying the exit fee. That certainly seems to be what was happening here. So, speculation. Don't sue me. I'm just speculating here, but read the stories, folks. I mean, I'm not trying to be heavy-handed here. We're not trying to be all whatever, but I mean, this is what your public officials at a public university are doing. They make a lot of money. They make a lot more money than you and me and most normal people who are watching this show right now. And they need to be held accountable. And that's what we're here to do. And there are other news sources in this area that have not touched this lawsuit. We have been on this lawsuit since day one. And EKU at the beginning tried to get it dismissed and claiming that they had government immunity, and the judge threw it out. And then EKU in the beginning also said that the OVC Constitution wasn't a binding legal document and wanted the lawsuit dismissed because of that. The judge threw that out. And after saying that the OVC Constitution wasn't a legally binding document, EKU filed a countersuit claiming that the OVC had actually violated the contract, not EKU. So they said there was no contract, and they said there was a contract, and they violated. They've used every hook and crook here. At least 3 times the judges had to compel Eastern Kentucky University to come forward with information, documents, emails. They continue to drag their feet, and this has dragged on for 500 days now. But we will stay on this. I encourage you to go read both stories. They're very, very interesting. But, I mean, the bigger point here is these folks don't want you to know what they're doing, and that's the bigger point here. So, sorry to get all heavy-handed on you folks, but that's why we're here. That's what the job we do. And if they are using private emails and explicitly telling each other to do these things to avoid the open records laws, then if they're doing it for this, what else are they doing it with? And that's probably the bigger story. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Are you there, Randy? I know you're trying to run away from this. You're like, oh, don't even get me involved in this. You're like, oh no.
Hey, I was just wondering what song is coming up. That's kind of interesting.
You want to move along, don't you? I don't blame you, but spent all day on that. But it's important, folks. But well, I only have the one record. I still have the Foreigner record. Did we play Double Vision or Hot Blooded last time?
We played Double Vision. You
want to flip it over and play Hot Blooded? Because I'm sure there's a few people. I'm sure a few people at EKU are hot-blooded right now after hearing that. So, want to come in and say hi, Blake? We're gonna play some Foreigner. We're gonna play some Foreigner.
I told you guys to do hops.
Nice.
You're doing it now.
Well, he wanted to hear Double Vision last time.
Last night.
Well, there you go, folks. See this stack of documents here we go up there today? It's crazy. It's time to go home, though.
Time to go home. We'll still be here.
There's Blake.
It's time to go home. We'll definitely still be here.
All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Go read the stories. It's important.
Abundant Hope Naturals, the official fruit smoothie for Sports Night. Come recharge with a delicious fruit smoothie full of protein and your choice of supplements. Madison County Sports Night is brought to you by
Total Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote.
Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Adams Buick GMC. Sid says sell 'em. Snappy Tomato Pizza. Pizza. Metronet Fiber. Madison County Emergency Management and KYmedia.net. Does your business or organization want to sponsor Madison County Sports Night on the Richmond Register Sports channels? Hit us up on social media.